The Whitney Reynolds Show is supported by the Danny Did Foundation.
Hi, I'm Whitney Reynolds, and today's topic is Health Watch. From childhood obesity to extreme exercise, we're covering it all. What experts say work and what pro athletes say to eat. And finding out that mom wasn't that off when she talked about eating those vegetables.
So many lives taken by people not taking care of themselves, heart and, obesity and stuff like that.
So I'm a type 2 diabetic, and for years I ate wrong.
You're watching The Whitney Reynolds Show. Lisa Marie Barron, All-American cheerleader turned pro wrestler. Some might know her as Tara on Spike TV's Total Nonstop Action. However, her red streak is her trademark, and staying in shape and fitness is a way of life. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So you are a wrestler.
I am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It's a crazy life. I don't know where to begin. I got into it very late in my age. I was 29, and these days they won't even look at you unless, you were 25 years of age and younger. So I'm 42, and I'm still doing it. I've been doing it for 13 years, so it's crazy life.
That is very impressive. So you must work out to stay in shape.
I have to. If you have watched our show, we wear, two-piece, workout clothes, that kind of thing, practically a bathing suit. So you have to be in tip-top shape, and TV is it's not forgiving, you know that too.
What does your workout regimen look like for our viewers at home that are curious? Because I mean, you do have major muscle definition, and our show is Health Watch, so I'm sure a lot of people are wondering how you do it.
Well, I work out every single day, and I used to be a personal trainer back in the day, and I do have a trainer now because a trainer needs a trainer. You always need to get a little bit of a push, but I have a lot of experience working out myself, so I only use him maybe once or twice a week, you know what I mean? So, but I have to do it every single day. I am 42 years old, not a young whippersnapper like the young kids I wrestle, but I got into it accidentally. This is not what I wanted to do. I was pre-med, biomed student, and wanted to go to med school and be a doctor, and got a job at the Organ and Tissue Bank and removing corneas and bone and heart for transplantation. Mm-hmm. Saw so many lives taken by people not taking care of themselves, heart and obesity and stuff like that. So I really got OCD on the workouts. So
is that kind of what sparked this trend to stay in shape, eat healthy?
Yes.
Or do you eat healthy?
I'm a foodie.
Okay.
As you know, I own a restaurant, and I enjoy my food. It's stuffed burgers and pizza. So, I do cheat, but I do have to work out every single day.
Would you say everything in moderation, though?
Absolutely. Plus, when I do eat, the bad food, I just add another 15 minutes on my workout. It's just 15 minutes, and I think anybody can do that. It's realistic.
So going back to wrestling, because I'm sure a lot of people are curious how this works. Are you really wrestling, or are you play wrestling?
Well, it is entertainment, but I like to describe it, we are actors, maybe bad actors, some of us bad actors and actresses that do our own stunts. So we are physical, and things can happen, injuries and stuff like that, because, it's a high-risk job, A lot of us have signature moves, and if you have worked with another female, you have a good repertoire, and there's a lot of talking, and it's like a dance. One's a leader, one's a follower. So I'm a bad guy, and lead the match. So, but there is wrestling school. Go figure. Yeah, is that shocking?
That is shocking.
It shocked me too. I was like, wrestling school, what? So I was in wrestling school for 3 years at the same time I was on television.
So you were going to school to be a doctor. You see all this stuff. It sparked your interest for health and wellness. So then you become a wrestler.
Yeah, I met a girl named China from WWF days, and she said I had a good look for wrestling, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna send my stuff in. I'm gonna see what they think about it. My fitness, I used to compete in fitness back in the 90s, and turned pro in the 99, and she said, you have a really good look for it. So I sent my stuff in, not thinking I'm gonna hear back, because it's entertainment business, and got a call, and I asked them, what do you see me doing? I'm not the girl that just walks out with a guy. And they said, we see you wrestle. And I said, oh my gosh. So I pro wrestling school, I Googled. And then I told my parents, I'm gonna try it for 3 months. It'll be a summer thing. 13 years later, I'm still doing it. Isn't that shocking?
Hi. Well, you look great. You're staying in shape. What advice would you give to the viewers at home that are wondering how they can maybe whip their body into shape?
It's very easy. Once you do a regimen like an hour a day for 30 days, you automatically have a habit. That's how you develop a habit. And if you have it part of your day, it's really just get in there, start doing cardio, making it part of your day. If you're kind of clueless, I always recommend getting a trainer, just maybe for 3 sessions. It's not like you have to do a trainer every single time, but get, you know, a foundation, and then maybe see him every 3 months and just kind of change it up, because it's really, you know, it is intimidating going into the gym. I'll be honest with you, when I first went in, I was like, what is all this machines? You know, what am I gonna do? And you become addicted when you see your body transform, you know? So it's exciting, and, you know, moderation, you know, I don't give up, you know, you don't have to eat 24/7 healthy, because you're gonna cheat, and you're gonna go off, you know,
Well, that's
the
what I was
diet.
going to ask you, because you said you like to eat, you're a foodie, but you do everything in moderation. But did you ever do any extreme dieting to help get you down to a certain size, and that didn't work for you? Or?
I did.
Okay.
When I used to compete, it was drastic, and I'll be honest with you, it was very unhealthy. I took carbohydrates out all of my diet completely. For 30 days, because I had 30 days to get ready for a show. What was I thinking? I don't know. But it was crazy, and when I stopped the diet, I blew up like a balloon. So now I do, you know, fats, carbohydrates, and protein, just, you know, the proper amounts, you know.
So everything in moderation.
Moderation, you know, and enjoy yourself. I think people that get stressed out, insulin level spikes and get you heavy around the belly.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Whitney, and I hope to see you next time in the wrestling ring.
Ooh, okay, we'll see about that. Well, coming up next, it's time for our social sizzle. We caught up with funny woman Sherry Shepherd, but she's talking about a serious cause. Let's take a look. And now it's time for our social sizzle. We are here with Sherry Shepherd. How are you?
I'm good, girl. How you doing?
Chicago native. Welcome
Yes.
back. Yeah.
I love coming back to Chicago because I feel like I get recharged when I come here. Everybody's real, no fakeness. It's just Chicago.
What you see is what you get.
Portillo's. I gotta go.
Oh.
I gotta go back to Portillo's.
I love Portillo's,
I
you're
know.
right. I know. So now we're gonna get to the point where we threw out a question to Facebook about
Okay.
our topic. It is called Health Watch Today.
Yes.
And we asked people how many people are really eating junk food at home, and they weighed in on some honest answers. Now you came out with a book that's how to lose weight,
It's I know it's a long title. It's
how to
called-
lose weight, beat diabetes, even if you don't have it.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
You know what? Because I'm a type 2 diabetic, and for years I ate wrong. I mean, when I started The View, I was 197 pounds. And it had taken over my life. I didn't feel good. I had all the symptoms of diabetes. And finally, when I got diagnosed, I knew I had to do something about it, because my mom passed away at 41 years of age, and I didn't want to do that to my son. And so I had to figure out how to re-eat, how to incorporate exercise into my daily life. And I lost 40 pounds. And it's been a journey. It's been a journey, but I have to say, being a diabetic, this is the best I've ever felt in my life. And so I wrote this book. It's called Plan D, How to Lose Weight and Beat Diabetes, even if you don't have it. Because I know that a lot of people, when they get that diagnosis of diabetes, they're scared. And I wanted to write sort of like a diabetes for dummies, kind of in real language. It's fun, because I'm fun, and just my journey. And, you know, if you just take control of it, you can manage it.
I love that. You know, people do know you for being really funny. You know, you're an actress, comedian, and a talk show host. But this is very serious to you.
It is. It's a very serious thing, because it's something, you know, you could die if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't take care of your health. And I just wanted to get it out of the fear, because so many people are scared, and diabetes is like the 4th killer in the African American community, in the Latino community. So I really wanted to get it out there in front of people and say, you can get a hold of it. You don't have to be over here if you're pre-diabetic. Follow these steps, or read what you can from my book and make it work for you. And then you don't have to come over to this side. If you don't have diabetes, you won't get it. If you eat like this, exercise. And I wanted to show people, take the fear out of you. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to be on Dancing with the Stars. You can make your own home into a gym. I do lunges across the kitchen floor. I do toilet squats. Have you ever done that?
No,
girl?
I have not.
That's when you sit. My butt has not touched the toilet in years. That's where you have to sit and you have to squat. You just squat, and it works, and it just works your body. I do push-ups against the countertop. I run with my son. So it's just like incorporating things into your daily life that will work for you.
You must have a much bigger house than I do, because I can touch all 4 corners. There's no squatting in my house. It's very little.
Girl. You still squat.
Yeah,
You're in a
that's
small
right.
place.
Just in the same place. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. You know, we did throw out that question to Facebook and Twitter. How many of you are really eating junk food at home? and 45% say they still do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I think everything in moderation. Do you agree?
I absolutely believe it's moderation, but I also think you have to find other things that you can substitute, because for me, there's things I can't eat. My favorite is red velvet cake, and I can't eat that all the time, but I found things that work for me. I love taffy apples. We used to get them in Chicago all the time, so now I eat apples with organic peanut butter and walnuts, and that's my version of a taffy apple. So you have to find other things that are good for you that you can eat.
Well, thank you so much, Sherry.
Thank you for having me. Hi, Chicago.
Last holiday season, we did a focus on Brown Elementary, a Chicago public school. It's been a rocky road, but now that we know for sure they'll be back next year. On their wish list was a garden, so we got together with Kendall College to make this happen. Principal Sadler requested a garden so that children can see, touch, and taste healthy alternatives. It's been 6 months since that taping, and the garden is going in. Let's join them. I'm here now at Brown Elementary with Emily Knight with Kendall Cares. Thanks for coming out today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We're going to plant a garden and teach the next generation about healthy choices. How important is that?
It's incredibly important. There is so much research that states that when children learn healthy eating habits at a young age, as adults, they have a much less rate of obesity. They make better food choices in the supermarket and certainly pass that on to their families.
We live, I feel like, in a junk food society where it's so easy to grab that 50-cent bag of chips. And not that that's always bad, everything in moderation.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, planting and eating vegetables, how important is that?
So many times we found that students, especially maybe inner city children, actually don't even know where vegetable or fruit comes from. And so part of the exercise today is to plant a garden here so those children can actually participate, watching the vegetables grow, watching the fruits grow, coming and picking it with their own hands, and being part of that process. And a lot of times you'll hear it called farm to table. Letting the students see that and be participatory absolutely will increase them when they go to a vending machine to make a much better choice.
So when you're planting, what are we planting here today?
We're planting quite a bit. We have behind us, we have lots of different herbs and vegetables. The students have actually started watermelon seeds in the building. We're going to plant watermelon and strawberries, cucumbers, peppers, and it's across this entire landscape of the institution. So over the coming months, they will actually see pretty much every vegetable A to Z grow up right in their backyard.
Wow, and are we going to be able to, are the kids going to be able to take them home?
Absolutely. And the hope is, and I think a lot of people miss this, is that if we can teach the children about healthy eating and nutrition, they're going to go home and pass it on to their family. And that's the real hope, that the parents then will make much better food choices in the supermarket.
So tell us about Kendall Cares. You guys, we are planting here at Brown, and you do this all the time, different places.
We do. I came to Kendall about a year and a half ago from Texas, and it was very clear in my first few months that there was this incredible service heart in the institution. So faculty, staff, students had a passion for serving, but there was really no mechanism for them to participate. So we got the senior team together. We decided that if we actually focused in the local area, we could make a difference. So we've made mats for the homeless. We redid an herb garden in the city of Chicago. We've done cleanup projects around our institution, and now here we are giving back to an elementary school, which frankly could be future college students at our institution or somewhere else in the city.
And that's one of the things that you were saying a minute ago about it's not just about teaching the kids. Then they go home and they can teach other people, and then it just becomes a community thing. Is that kind of the idea around a garden, a community garden?
Absolutely, community garden. And also what we found is that many times people will actually buy produce. So we worked with Fresh Moves in Chicago for quite a while. People would go onto the bus, they would buy a bag of, say, oranges and peppers. They would go home and they would sit on the counter because they didn't know what to do with it. So one of the ways that we actually really leverage Kendall's strength is that the culinary school creates recipes for these vegetables and for the fruits that may come out of these gardens. So when children go home with, say, a bag of peppers, they can have a very simple recipe so they actually can transform that into eating something healthy, which is that's the connection point that we didn't always know at the beginning of this.
We're going to get some recipes at the end of the show today, some healthy choices.
Excellent.
But what would you say your favorite story is with Kendall Cares, like going into the community?
It was probably when we made mats for the homeless, in that one of the things we didn't realize is that only about 10% of the homeless people are who we see on the street every day. And our area, which is, Halstead Division, Chicago, really is an area in transition. And so we were able to collect plastic bags. We had elementary schools around the city donate, and we made mats because in the 1st of May, many of the homeless shelters close in this area, and these people have nowhere to go. And so there was this very large contingent of faculty, staff, and students to make beds for these homeless individuals. And the spirit of the institution that came out and the giving nature was a moment I will never forget.
Well, Kendall is really giving back to the community. How many other gardens have you done?
We've done 3 gardens now, and then our baking and pastry instructor who really leads this effort, Heidi Hedeker, has done many more across Chicago to transform different institutions, and frankly, we probably have more requests than we can fulfill at this time.
So when these kids, when it grows, they get to take it home, now they know something completely new.
Absolutely, and our hope would be then they would pass that knowledge on, but also as they grow older and they're in a high school or making a decision about food, they'll make a healthier choice, and we know that long term that just leads to a much healthier lifestyle.
I think there's something special when you not only just see it, but you can touch it, feel it, and be in the moment.
And you can actually watch the process. So we will leave here today, you can see the size of these plants, and in just a couple of months, this place will be transformed, it will be green, it will be beautiful, and then remember, they have to water and care for these plants too. And so that's also part of the process of the ownership of the gardens.
It's teaching a lot of values here today.
A lot of values, but these kids are ready, I can tell.
They are ready, and speaking of the kids being ready, we wanted to hear from them on our Man on the Street, so we said, we're gonna name it Kid on the Street today, so we're gonna hear from the kids.
Excellent.
Let's take a look. Why is it important to grow your own food?
Because it's healthier and it makes you stronger.
Helps your body, helps you out with things like exercise do. It helps you with the nutrients like fruit and vegetables.
Well, it makes you stronger, healthier, and you won't have to buy your food at the market.
It is important to grow your own food because it's healthier and it doesn't really have that many germs on there. And sometimes if you get it from the store, it decays faster.
Why is it important to grow your own food?
Because it's important because it's more healthier than store-bought food and you can spend less money on it.
It's better because the food is good and you keep your money and it's good.
Why is it important to grow your own food?
It's important to grow your own food because if one day it's no food, maybe you're gonna have to grow it.
It's important to grow your own food because instead of going to the store and buy your own food, you could grow it right in your backyard and spend less money. Like you could spend $3 on a plant for an oregano, and at the store, you want to buy oregano, it costs like $6.
Now we are joined with Sid Mangler. Now you are a chef.
I am a chef, yes.
How important is it to do healthy recipes?
It's extremely important. A lot of times we see that people are eating extremely rich foods when they go out to restaurants, and I think it's really nice to kind of balance that out and do a little bit of moderation by eating healthier foods at other times too.
When kids see the vegetables come up and they get to take some ownership in that, do you see that they want to implement healthy eating at home?
Oh, absolutely. So I've been working with this community garden in this neighborhood for around 4 years now, and one of the things that I've seen in the past is kids coming in on the weekends and they actually ask for special herbs because they like it when the moms cook with these different herbs and it's fresh. So you see it translating directly where the kids are going back and taking it home with them.
So this isn't the only garden, like community garden in the West Loop. There's multiple.
There are definitely a lot of gardens. One of them is just across the street from here on the corner of Washington and Wood. And we meet there every Saturday starting spring all the way up to fall. Just a lot of people from the neighborhood coming in and helping plant and just get a community together.
So with seeing the community come together over a garden is really neat on multiple levels, because not only are people learning healthy choices, but then they're also getting to get together and meet their community.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a place where you make friends, you meet other people, you actually come in and there's a running club that happens right around there as well. So they come in and learn everything from not just healthy eating, but activity and doing things that are going to be good for your health in the future.
Well, tell us about the stuff that we've planted today. What can we actually take home and make? Is there a recipe that comes off the top of your mind that you're like, I can't live without that?
Oh, there's definitely the salsa garden, I think would be really excellent. There's some really nice tomatoes, there's some peppers, there's some cilantro, there's a lot of things that can go in there that are really delicious.
So you said a salsa
There's a salsa garden that we are planting in today. Yes.
Okay, so what else can they make? What other easy dishes?
There's, of course, a lot of pesto, so using basil and olive oil would be a really good way to actually use that at home. Just spread a little bit on sandwiches, make a dressing with it, making some cucumber salads, using other things like flowers. So we are planting some lavender, and that would be a really nice way in spring to actually get some beautiful things. We are planting some rhubarb, some strawberries, so again, making pies and jams would probably be something nice.
I'm with Heidi Hedeker with Kendall College. Now, we are planting these gardens today here at Brown Elementary, but there's a lot that goes into it whenever they take them home and they can actually make things with them.
Absolutely. In fact, that's one of the most important things that we're showing them here today is that their food is actually a living thing, and that as they take from this plant, the plant replenishes itself if it's taken care of. So if they water it and if they take sprouts from it responsibly, then they'll always have this plant to go back to.
So let's talk about some healthy recipes that the kiddos can learn as well.
So one of the recipes that we're giving out today is based on French Provençal cuisine. That Provence of France is south of France or in the southern part, and some of the most vivid flavors come from there. Thyme, lavender, it's really, really something that stirs your senses. So that's one of the recipes we're giving out. Also, we're giving out a tabbouleh recipe, which is, a nice way to get kids to eat greens and whole grains.
Wow, and so you're dividing this into 6 different regions, you said?
Yes, and that's probably the most exciting part about this whole planting is that they can really relate to food in the basis of cuisines, so they're familiar with eating pizza and egg rolls and that kind of thing, but here we are showing them how, as an example, the Asian garden has hot peppers in it, and it also has cilantro in it, so it has some different things that they might not realize are the sources of these flavors that they're so used to.
With the community aspect of a garden, does it bring the community together?
And that's another thing, Whitney, I think you can remember when we first came here to the school, we heard these kids running around like crazy, screaming and yelling, not in a bad way, but they're kids, right? And if you turn around now and look at the garden, look at how composed and how completely engrossed they are in this activity. So, and it's with other people. I mean, it really is a natural connectivity,
With healthy alternatives for recipes, do you guys have them on your website?
That is a great question. We have them in the kids section of our website, which is we have a summer camp, and so should be a bank of recipes on there on www.kendall.edu.
Okay, so then people can go there, find healthy alternatives, get their kids, and this I think is a great exercise for families at home too, to teach your kids about it. They can go home, plant, and learn about what actually is being brought to the table.
Absolutely. I think that the thing that is most important to remember about planting with your kids or with friends in general is that these are living things. And as you handle a plant, you become so aware of that. There's no way that you don't realize that, and it changes your entire perspective and your entire mood that day,
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Okay, I'm going to go plant.
Okay, go to it. We're just planting everywhere. Michael Moody is a trainer here in the city. How important is it to keep kids active?
Well, no doubt nutrition is the most important, but there is another glaring reason why the obesity rate has increased threefold since 1972, and that's the lack of movement. There's more television programming, there's more video games than ever before, and kids are just simply moving less. I know growing up, we used to play kick the can, which is a little outdated, and I'm probably dating myself, but also freeze tag or other games like that. Just getting outside and moving is most important. You don't have to be in a gym.
So even a simple game of duck, duck, goose could be easy.
Anything that gets a kid moving. I mean, and that goes all the way through adulthood. Being active is more than just going into the gym 4 to 5 hours a week. It's actually moving constantly throughout the day. And kids have that opportunity with school, being at home during the summer. So as mentors and parents, we have to create that atmosphere, that environment where they're able to do that. And it is tough with working parents now, but there are things that you can do with your kids, either dance classes, hiking, swimming, just getting outside with them will also establish a good example for them as well.
So you can really make this fun.
Absolutely, and it doesn't have to be...
Well, guys, he is off, and I think what he was going to wrap up and say is that it can be fun and exercise can be easy. For more on today's show on Health Watch, go to thewhitneyreynoldshow.com. I think I'm going to get my hands a little dirty and join them in tag and plant some plants.
The Whitney Reynolds Show is supported by the Danny Did Foundation.